Hey everybody, Kyle here, tech and a trainer for McNeil, and I wanted to show a feature that's developing in version 9 that solves a long-term Rhino filleting problem. This is what I refer to as the watchmaker's blend. And if I come in here and I grab the fillet tool and I run a 0.5 unit fillet on this, we'll get a result here. And if I change this to setback, we get a slightly different result. We get nice setback corners here, which is a new thing for 9. But I'm not going to set that back. I'm going to leave this as it sits. And so what we end up with is a result. Okay. We can argue whether this result is good or bad. I think the result in the corners is good. The result here is good. In the past, what used to happen is there would be a diamond-shaped hole that would appear in this area right here. And with some improvements to the filleting in V9, this actually delivers a result, but it's not necessarily an awesome result. I'm going to go ahead and run this and show you what I mean. So if we change this to rendered, if we add a material in here and we give this a color, you can see that we've got kind of a messy highlight in there. See how it's bouncing up like that? That's not what I would consider a good result. However, what we can do is take what this has given us and remove these surfaces. I'm just Control-Shift clicking them and getting rid of them. And if we look at the resulting edges, we've got some edges broken up like this. Okay, what I want to do actually is put some of those edges back together with the Merge Edge tool. And I'm going to put these guys back together. I'm going to put these guys back together. I'm going to leave these two split. And what I'm going to do is set myself up for success by coming in here and making a proxy surface with blend surface that goes from here to here. Now, you'll notice this isn't even close to joining up. It's not, doesn't do what it, anything that is useful down in this end. But what it does do is it gives us this section kind of right in here, which is what we actually want. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the new patch command. I'm going to select these edges. I'm going to specify them all G1. And then I'm going to bring the tool up. We're going to set it to multi-blend, and then we're going to preview it. You can see what it does is it actually comes through here fairly quickly and builds a poly surface that blends in several directions and gives us a really nice highlight flow. Now I'm going to delete this proxy surface. I'm just going to mirror these over, and then we'll join this up. And you can see that we end up with a closed poly surface. Okay, was in there. Here it is, closed poly surface. And if we now take a look at this in rendered mode, you can see that not only do our highlights look good, I'm going to switch to a different environment here. Let's switch to the automotive environment because highlights track a little nicer in it. And you can see that the difference between how the highlights track on this blend right here versus this blend right here. And just to remove all line cheating and stealing, let's go and throw the lie detector on this, which is zebra. And let's take a look at what we've got. So this was the original result, which we can argue is better than just leaving a hole because it actually gives us something to work with if we delete those surfaces. This is patch with multi-blend. And you can see that the highlights are tracking really, really nicely. In fact, we can even crank up the mesh in here. Let's do a little bit more detailed mesh. And you can see that we're getting really, really nice lines. No jumping like we have here. Very, very clean. Very easy. If you noticed within the patch tool itself, there are some continuity tools that actually reported on whether or not your continuity was correct. I'll run it one more time so you can see what that looks like. Got to repair our edges over here. This is the merge edge tool, by the way. A lot of people haven't seen this before, even though it's been in Rhino forever. It allows you to repair, put edges back together if they were split internally. Let's put our proxy surface in here. I'm just going to let that run. I'm going to leave it at curvature, which is fine. And then we'll run patch again. And you'll notice that each edge has a continuity assigned to it. Now I can click this and change its continuity. But I'm going to leave it all just at G1 right now. Because we used fillets and not curvature-based blends, G1 is going to be plenty for what we need. So we're going to run it. I'm going to preview it. And down here you can actually see that not only have we achieved G0, but we've also achieved G1. So we know that when we run this surface is actually going to join. I'm just going to replace this one. Mirror it over and join. And we know that this is going to join up because it passed our continuity test. Then we take a look at it, and we end up with the same result that we had over here. Okay? Give that a try. Download the WIP. You can get it from rhino3d.com. Right here, Serengeti build. Click on that, you download it from right here. Give it a shot. If you're a Rhino 8 license holder, you are welcome to use the WIP. Give it a shot and let us know what you think on the forum, which is www.discourse.mcneil.com. Right here. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Thanks.